Hello everyone, this is Bowser Galaxy 10.
This was not as bad as Joel was saying.
It is better than I remembered.
This is Thor Dark World.
It was still terrible.
Welcome to Thor Dark World.
Oh dear.
Final thoughts on the movie first, before specifics?
I'll say it's bad in a way that can be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because
I'll give it this, it's not as boring as Incredible Hulk, and it's not as misguided as Iron Man 2 was.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's better than those two, at least.
There are some legitimately good parts of this movie. I will give it that.
Yeah.
And it's also a little nice that it's actually kind of front-loaded on the good parts. So you don't have to slog through a bunch of bad parts to get to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so characters. Thor?
Thor had a little bit of...
kinda here, honestly, in this one.
He's a little bit of witty moments. He had some fun dynamics with Loki.
Yeah.
This is not Thor's best performance by any means.
Yeah, it's not as good as he usually is, but it's like... I guess he was the straight man in all this, more than anything.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say.
Yeah. Thor's okay, which is pretty bad for Thor. Yeah.
This is gonna be a really weird review.
Yeah. Jane?
Better than in the first one? Honestly, I remember her more in this.
I suppose.
She has a lot more moments here of being like science person here.
Yeah.
And she also is way more in the story than the last time where it was more just the Thor show.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't think either of us really care about Jane very much, so... She's just kind of...
Her slap is pretty funny, though, all 3 times.
She's a passable character. She's fine.
Still would have preferred Darcy as Thor's interest.
Speaking of which...
I freaking love Darcy.
Darcy's wonderful. Why is Darcy not around more?
Why is she not?
For some reason, I remembered her being really annoying in this movie, and she's not. I mean, I don't know if I really have much to say about it, so I'll just say this now. Ian's annoying.
Yeah.
Darcy playing off him is pretty funny, but he's not funny.
Also, before we go any further, what the hell is this movie's fascination with shoes?
Give me your shoe.
Why are there so many shoes? Can I have my shoe back? Even the Stan Lee cameos about shoes.
Yeah, I guess you could say they really shoehorned those in.
You see that? That's my face at that.
You're welcome.
Was the old guy even in there long enough for him to give us
We're gonna talk about Eric.
final thoughts on him?
We're gonna talk about Eric. Why not?
More of the first movie's Eric?
He existed.
Yeah.
He's slightly funny, I guess. He did a little bit for the plot. Yeah.
He kinda existed. He was only in there for like 5 minutes of screen time.
The evil buff guy? Why was he more intimidating than the actual villain? By
Definitely.
A very large Martian?
Yeah, it was like honestly it felt like that should have been the villain.
Yeah, like, why was that just not
Or at least
villain
the
the
final
whole time.
battle. Like, while the villain's doing his thing, Thor has to fight off that guy. That feels like it should have been the climax instead of what we got. Which was falling through portal comedy act. We might as well talk about the villain. No, I don't care.
We'll talk about Malekith.
First off, that doesn't even sound like a villain name. That sounds like the species of it that he should be.
Yeah. I literally involuntarily chuckled when I first saw him watching it this time. Because he looks so stupid.
I got a lot of Green Lantern villain vibe, like Green Lantern movie vibes from him, and I was like, oh
he
no.
looks so he doesn't look cool at all, but he acts like he looks like Darth Vader or something, and he totally doesn't. I cannot take him seriously at all.
It's like Marvel took a DC villain.
His voice.
It honestly feels like Marvel took a random Superman DC villain.
Yeah. His
like a random Superman villain.
His voice isn't intimidating. But at any point in this movie where you like, oh shoot, Malekith is doing stuff. No, we don't care.
Thor's mom. That's about it. And even then, it's like, oh, that happened.
Is there anything Malekith did that, like, some random unnamed dude couldn't do? Like, literally, it would literally be better if they
I mentioned that I was more scared of the girl having the power than him having the power?
Why is Jane having the ether more scary than the actual villain having the power?
Yeah,
and then in the fight, it's like literally he gets minor spoiler, but I just want to put this out there. He had an Infinity Stone, one of the most powerful things in the universe, and he hits Thor, and Thor's like, "Wow, I really thought you would hit harder than that."
Oh, man.
Even Thor in the universe is not impressed with this guy.
I don't freaking know.
And then the freaking final fight is just a comedy scene of like Thor and Malekith punching each other while Thor tries to get his hammer so he can win.
It looked like a freaking filler Dragon Ball Z fight, honestly.
Yeah. Like I think what I really hate is the implication is if Thor had his hammer, he could just end the fight right there. It's like great way to just completely kill the tension. Oh man, the world is ending, but we could solve the problem if
the
Thor
world's
could just
ending.
get his hammer.
The entire world is ending. Gotta see Thor take a train over to the final boss. Out of freaking Persona. It looks like it should be out of Persona.
It's so stupid. The climax of this movie is so terrible. I almost feel like they realized how bad the movie was and they were like, we're just gonna make a stupid climax.
I will say this. It's more memorable than most of the other climaxes in the movies. I'll give it this. It's more entertaining than most of the others. Like, I found it way more entertaining than the climaxes in Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and Incredible Hulk. Where it's like, I don't even remember what even happened in those fights. Except eventually the guy dies from an explosion, the end. But it's like, at least I remember how he dies.
Yeah. I think, like, there's like a lot of kind of annoying issues in this movie here and there. I think Malekith really is what ruins this movie. He's such an awful villain that it just completely kills any tension. It completely kills the tension in this movie whenever he's on screen, which is the opposite of what you want from a villain.
But I'll give him this. He's still better than the Iron Man 2 guy, where it's like, I don't think that guy did anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was side villain turned main
Well,
villain. Like, did he even kill anyone named?
I'll say this. I think both of them, like the Iron Man 2 villain might be even more useless in tension killing, but at least he's slightly funny. Malekith, he's only funny in the way that it's like, he thinks he's super cool and then he's totally not at all.
It feels like something from a parody.
I think what bugs me so much is it feels like they actually were that they actually wanted you to think he was cool, and he totally isn't. As opposed to Iron Man 2 villain, where I feel like they wanted you to be like, oh yeah, this guy has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah. But it's like, that happened.
Yeah, Malekith's terrible.
Yeah.
Now shall we talk about probably the best part of the movie?
Yeah.
It's your boy Loki.
I'll give him this. Quippy Loki is my favorite Loki. Like, now that he's like you have no idea what the heck he's doing, it's fun. It's really fun where it's like when you can't actually figure out what he's planning. And also he's kind of humanized in this one, where it's like Avengers Loki felt like, I don't care about anything now!
Yeah.
Quippy Loki is a lot more, I like Quippy Loki a lot more than Petty Loki.
Like, this is the thing. I think of, like, almost every single thing in this movie where I'm like, this is actually pretty well done. I'm having a hard time thinking of a single time it didn't involve Loki.
You have a point.
Loki is the savior of this movie. He's the only reason this whole movie isn't just straight up awful in every way.
It's Loki puts it to passable instead of so bad it's good territory.
It's like, the first half is passable because of Loki, and the second half is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how we sum up this movie.
Yeah.
Loki makes the first half decent, and then the second half is
yeah,
so
honestly, him taking the mother's death really hard actually made me really care about Loki.
Yeah, that
Where
that
it's
was...
like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Especially the scene that the thumbnails actually of, where it's like, oh,
yeah, that is.
He's
that
hurt.
Is legitimately a cool scene. Like, that he's like, oh, hello, brother, and Thor's just like, drop the act, and the room is wrecked. He looks like a bum on the street.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Also, I really like how they got me with the Loki betrayal part.
Yeah,
they actually really got me with that part.
That's actually very clever.
Yeah. Where it's like, that worked really well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very cool.
Too bad it didn't amount to a goddamn thing.
And then the one last thing, Loki fighting with the knife was cool.
Yeah.
This is probably the coolest fight scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. Was Loki taking down like 4 guys with a knife.
Oh no, Loki got stabbed. He's definitely dead. Even the movie doesn't even go to the end of the movie before being like, yeah, no he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You already faked this. It's like, you already did this. You already were like, oh man, Loki died and now Thor's really sad. You did that in the last movie. You think we're gonna buy it this time?
Yeah, but, yeah, it's like, really? You really think we're gonna believe that at all? Have you met this guy?
Hello.
Also his quips when Thor's moving the ship is the best part of that whole scene.
Yeah.
And Thor just getting more and more pissed at him.
I think you missed the column. Thank you for the commentary, Loki. It's not distracting at all.
Yeah, Thor with Loki is honestly the best part of this whole movie.
And honestly, like now that I like watching this movie, I'm like, this is like,
honestly, this feels like where Loki really got like the actor really knew how to play Loki at this point.
Yeah. And the one thing I can give Thor: Dark World, I think this is where the Thor Loki dynamic I really love starts.
Yeah.
Is right here.
Yeah, I can already tell
of all
that
places, it was here.
Yeah, he's the thing that saves the first half. Definitely.
Yeah. So, Thor: Dark World,
I'll give it this. It's above Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2. I don't think it... Honestly, I think it beats out Iron Man 1 as well, because I don't barely remember that movie at all. Like... I'd say it doesn't beat out all the scenes in Iron Man 1, but it beats out Iron Man 1 as a whole. I still think, like, the first third of Iron Man 1 still beats it out, but it's like... The rest of it doesn't really. I'd probably put it as a tie, honestly.
Like,
where it's like, I don't think this movie's as bad as people said it was, where it's like, I don't think it was as bad as people put it out to be.
Yeah. I probably exaggerate how bad it was because I remember when I watched it last time I watched this, I watched the climax and I was like actually livid at how awful it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is supposed to be the end of the world. This is supposed to be like the end of the world. Why is it a comedy scene?
Yeah, but while going for the Marvel going through all the Marvel movies in order, I'm like, this is the exact same thing they did with Iron Man 2. Where it's like it was just Iron Man and War Machine doing quips while fighting the final guy. Where it's like, this is nothing different.
So, out of the main three, let me get this straight. So we got the second movie of one of the main three Avengers. And then we have the second movie of the main three Avengers. And they're very similar. We're gonna watch the other one's second movie. It's not like this at all.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that right now.
I already know the wonderful reviews that the second Captain America movie got. Like, I already know that one's I'm going to love that one already because Captain America's still my favorite character.
Yeah. But, next up, our next MCU movie review will be Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is my third favorite movie in the entire MCU. And only very close behind my second favorite.
It'll probably finally be something to top Captain America: The First Avenger for me.
I certainly hope so.
Where it's like my top two are just gonna be Captain America movies. God damn it! I'm not biased at all. What do you mean? I'm not gonna be biased at all to Civil War. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna be biased at all.
But it's just like my brother said back in the day, without actually agreeing with himself. Cappy is crappy.
Well, he also said Iron Man 3 was bad, and that's our favorite of the three.
This is my other brother, actually.
Oh. Where it's like... One of your brothers also said Iron Man 3 was the worst, and I'm like, that's the best one of the three.
Yeah, but he actually likes Iron Man 1 quite a bit, so I don't know.
Yeah, I like the first third of Iron Man 1 as well. Him getting out of the cave is one of the best parts of the whole MCU still. But it's just that the rest of the movie goes downhill after that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, this was 15 minutes of Thor Dark World and 5 minutes of us talking about other MCU movies.
Oh, I forgot to mention how Thor's mom died, and then we barely cared. Until Loki was really sad, and then we're like, oh, now I actually feel something about this.
I feel for Loki, not for her.
We feel bad for Loki. We don't really feel bad for Thor.
I was like, oh, she's actually dead? Oh.
Shoot. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
And then Loki was sad, and we're like, oh! Oh.
I was more to Loki's improvement than hers. Or it's like, if we barely even saw her in this movie, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Meh.
So overall, Thor Dark World sucks.
But it's still not the worst of the MCU so far.
And it might be worth watching as a so bad it's good kind of movie.
Yeah, honestly, the first half is honestly good.
The first half it's decent.
Yeah, I'd say the first half is decent, second half is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
But that's still better than Incredible Hulk, which was just a bore.
Yeah.
Like, this is entertaining at the least.
Yeah.
I can at least say this is entertaining and memorable, unlike Incredible Hulk, and in my opinion, Iron Man 2.
Yeah. So that, I think, is our rambling review of Thor Dark World.
Yep.
Next time, a much better movie. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yay!